up? Can y'all hear me all right this morning? All right, look, who's expecting a move from God? I don't know about you, but I feel like William McDowell just prophesied into my life and gave me some confirmation of what I even feel on this morning, what I woke up feeling. And as I've been trying to, work and get the message together, I hadn't heard that song and I don't even know when. I really kind of forgot about it. And I really, this is the crazy thing. I said, okay, I know there has to be a gospel song out here about expectancy, because that's what we're going to talk about today, expectancy. And then as I'm listening to it, I was like, oh wow, this is so much of a confirmation, at least what I see happening in my life. And I pray that by the time I get finished today, you'll say, yep, that's where I wasn't until you talked about it this morning about it, but now I'm there too. I hope that we can get into a space to really understand we need to stand in a spirit of expectancy, and that, really expecting God to make changes in our lives, to make our lives better, to make our lives more enriched. And as I woke up this morning, I heard in my spirit, I heard it really very clear, very audibly. And that's going to be our topic for today. I'm going to go to the topic. I'm going to tell you the topic first, then I'm going to go to the text. I heard live a life of expectancy. And so if you all feel like that's where you want to be, I'm going to say that the spirit, as it spoke to me within my own personality and my own voice as I was rising today from my slumber and from my sleep, that was the first thing I heard was live a life of expectancy. And so I would hope that you all can walk this thing with me this morning and say, you know what? I'm with you. I'm with you as well, that I need to live in a life of expectancy. And I'm using that word very specifically because we should live a life of expectancy rather than a life of expectations. All right, I want you to get me now, because we're gonna talk about this thing. I need you to get your notebook. I need you to get a sheet of paper. I need you to really tune in here. You all realize that just in a couple of days, we are going to be in the 8th month of the year. And we've talked about the theme of this year is getting what I came here for. I hope y'all ain't forgot that. What this means is, in my existence here on this side on planet Earth, I am planning on getting what I came here for. What was my purpose of being birthed, of my mother and father? Why am I here? I want to see more. I got a little bit. I know I was meant to be Zahara and Tafari Bradford's mother. I know I'm meant to be Cedric Bradford's wife. I know I'm meant to be a health educator. I know I'm meant to live in Atlanta, Georgia, but I know that there's more for me. I'm not done. It's not over. If I still wake up every morning with breath within my body and the activity of my brain and my limbs, there is more for me. And I want to know more of God. Why am I here? And I mean it, that I want to get what I came here for. And I'm going to tell you that even this week I have struggled, that even my mind, my heart doubted my purpose. I started to begin to doubt. I'm going to tell y'all this morning, I had even thought around Thursday and Friday, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell them people on Sunday, this will be the last Sunday. I was ready to give up. I already had my speech ready, already prepared. I said, you know what? Who cares? Who cares about this ministry but me? And now I'm to the point I don't even care anymore, because God is too hard. God is too difficult. I feel like nobody cares about me. I feel like nobody cares about what I have to give. But that was something in me that was speaking negative over what God has planted in me. And so now today I stand here barefooted and unafraid, that even when it gets hard, even when I feel like nobody understands, that nobody is listening, that somebody is. And I pray that that y'all are praying with me this morning, and that you could tell me, Ravonda, what you thought or what you felt or the insecurities in your own mind. It was just that. You just had a bad day. You had a bad moment, but we are here and we are praying with you. We're praying for you because I know that you got something that I need. That's what I hope that you can witness back to me, because I need it. You know, there's sometimes in our own ministry, in our own way, we need to be ministered to. I need to be lifted up, and I need to know that I got somebody out there that hears what thus saith the Lord, and does not just hear it, but that you're going to do it. I cannot just keep on sitting idly by why this world goes to hell in a handbasket and not cry out. God has given me an ability. He has given me a prophetic manner is on my life, and I got to give it even when it gets hard, even when the people on the job get on my nerves, the people in the community. You look at all the things that's going on in this world and you say, Lord, what's the point? I had me a Jonah moment. God, what is the point? But he said the point is you. That's the point, is that if you stop what you are doing, that you will be lost. I cannot give up on myself. And I'm going to tell you, you cannot give up on you either. Yes, it's going to get hard. You can be utterly heartbroken. But that does not mean that you get the ability or the opportunity, or you get away with just sitting down on what God has given you to do. So this morning I heard the Spirit say to me, live a life of expectancy. Oh, an expectancy of what? We're going to Psalm 62. Hear me, y'all. Psalm 62, we're going to start with the 5th verse, and it says, my soul, wait thou only upon God. I want you to hear this. For my expectation, I didn't say expectancy, for my expectation is from him. For he only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In God is, and I'm saying is like that because in my Bible it's italicized. In God is my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, ye people. Look, pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us, Selah. And again, our topic for today is live a life of expectancy. Cedric, can you give me some tissue, please? So when we think about this, I want to really talk about this. It's about expectancy in this natural realm. And expectancy means that we're feeling that something exciting or pleasant is going to happen. So when you live in a life of expectancy, every single day you wake up believing that something exciting or pleasant is going to happen. And the thing about it is expectancy is different from expectation. The only power, the only being in this world that you should have expectation of is your Creator. That's why there's a difference. Thank you, babe. That's why even David said, my expectation is in God. Look, creating expectations of life and how it should go can open your hearts up to intense, immense disappointment. However, if you live a life with anticipation and expectancy of what is to come and what God is doing in our lives, we can experience greater joy in the journey. So you want to know something that I learned this week? As I'm being vulnerable, even to you all, you know, I walk around with a smile most of the time. You know, people say stuff, they do stuff. I'm like, okay. I told Cedric earlier this week, I said, you know, I just hold it. I just take it. I hold it. I can hold it. I got it. You know what I mean? But after a while, you've been holding and holding and taking and taking, and it becomes overwhelming to your heart and your mind, because you say, this is how I come to the world. And so I have the expectation that everybody else is coming to me the same way. I go into work with the expectation that everybody else came here to do an excellent job. And so when they don't, I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I come with the expectation that everybody has integrity. I come with the expectation that everybody wants to get along and be nice and be cordial and have compassion and love for their fellow man. I come with the expectation, and what God has shown me today and what I want to relay is that you cannot expect anything from somebody, because they're people, because they're fallible. So where you put your true trust is in God and God alone, and you put it in yourself. You got to trust you. You've got to trust the God in you. So when you come to expect something of others or even yourself, and suddenly those expectations aren't met for whatever the reason, it causes disappointment. And so it's much better, and it's easier on you and gives you more of a joyous experience in life is when you come to it with expectancy. Where I say, you know what, hook or crook, good or bad, this is going to be a good day. I walking into it with a spirit of expectancy. Because the only one that I can truly rely on to be consistent, to be all the way 100 with me is God. What we have received, or what we can receive, can be beyond our wildest dreams when we value the spirit of expectancy. And when you don't put really a lot of times certain parameters on people or places or things or these expectations, what you do, and this is what I love as I've been reading this morning, says you create the possibility to be surprised. I want to say you're surprised versus disappointed. And am I saying that you just look at everybody like, oh, it's just dark and nobody's good and nobody? I'm not saying that. But when you have this expectancy of good, when you have the expectancy of great, when you have the expectancy of grace, when that's what you're looking for, guess what? That's what you're going to find. But if we have unrealistic expectations on people that are just people, you're going to find yourself disappointed, mad, and sad. Expectancy, I want you to think about this, is like a kid waiting with eagerness for Christmas morning. It gives us something to look forward to. We should wake every single day and we should unwrap ourselves and say, wow, when we take that cover off, what does today bring? It's going to bring something wonderful. I sit in the spirit of expectancy of something great. I sit in the seat of believing that God is going to do something amazing in my life today, in the lives of the people that I'm connected to today. Expectations make us mad because someone or something has not met those expectations. And as I reflect on this, I realize that expecting from others can be a form of control. And you're trying to get someone to move to your will and way. And baby, who can you control? You hardly can control yourself. Let's be real clear. A lot of people haven't even got control of self yet. Then you're trying to control everybody and everything around you. So when you force your hidden expectations on others, it produces feelings of being controlled. And I believe that there are just normal expectations. We're not going to take all of them away. There's some things that you just expect from people. We teach our children to have good behavior and expect good results from that. As business owners or leaders or managers and teachers in our organizations, we do expect performance from those that we even influence. But when I go about and I'm trying to teach my staff, I do have an expectation. I've been working with y'all on this, and this. But even when I learned this, you can't, what they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And so to understand that now, it's like, okay, how can I remove myself from that stress or that pain of wondering why I can't control somebody else's actions? Yeah, I gave it to them. Yeah, I gave them the book. I told them to watch a podcast. I did all these things. But if they don't change and they don't adapt and they don't rise to the occasion, is that a failure on my part? No, because I did my job. I put it out there. In marriage, we have an expectation of love and companionship. That's just basic. But what I want to get to the point of, and that's why I feel like I hope that this is relevant to others of you, not just me, is that I need to let go of these old expectations. One of those ways to do that is to be still. We've got to be still, and we've got to give ourselves time to dig in deep and reflect on what may be unconsciously or consciously in us that makes us have these expectations on others or of others. And when you identify those things and learn new and better information, then you can lower your expectations and up your spirit or the place of expectancy. Again, expectancy is feeling that something exciting or pleasant is going to happen. The next thing that we should do is to manage our own emotions. And I'm going to tell you again, being vulnerable in this space is that I didn't have a good sense of my own emotional well-being. I felt like the world and the walls were closing in. And it was irrational. It wasn't even me, because that's normally not how I operate. I usually could just say, okay, brush it off. But I had to really, even the last couple of days, say, okay, you got to get a handle on yourself. And I had to ask myself, why did it bother me so much? Why? Because someone basically tried to throw me under the bus that I really don't even like. Why did that bother me so much? Why does it bother me when somebody lies on me when I know it's a lie? Why does that bother me? Because people are going to lie. People going to cheat. They're going to steal. They're going to do all this. So why does it bother me so much to a point that I'm internalizing what somebody else did? All I can do is look at my reaction to it. I can't hold myself accountable for what somebody else does. And I've been doing that most of my life. And this isn't easy. But look, only you have that power to manage your own emotions. And you get to decide what your expectations are, how heavy they are, and if they go unmet, only you can control your response. This is the part of like really understanding your control over your life. When we're talking about, I'm going to get what I came here for, I want to make this very, very clear. I hope y'all are listening to me. You are the only one in control of your destiny. You could say the dog did it, the cat did it, the man in the moon. This one didn't give me that. That one didn't give me that opportunity. It's up to you. Did you sit down or did you get up? Did you lay down or did you make a stand? It's you. And so continuously, we keep trying to put these things, oh, if they wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have been here. If they wouldn't have said that. No, cut that mess out, because you know what you did with that? You sat here, I give you all the power I ever had in life. I give it to somebody else. Whether they come or go, stay or don't, you got to be focused on you and your own tenacity, your own perseverance, your own strength. They can say what they want, they can do what they want. It's about you and what you did. Did you stay strong? Did you fall apart? Did you lean into faith? Did you lean into God? Did you lean into this fallacy, which is people gonna disappoint you? But my hope is in God. And when God sets you into this place where you expect the glory from him and the coverage of him, he said, David said, God is my refuge. God is my strength. God is my peace. Then when you're dealing with others, you walk in that peace. You walk knowing that you're covered. When somebody comes against you and persecutes you and does something to you, do you understand that 9 times out of 10, you don't even have to do anything? God always has a way to give us peace, but a lot of times we don't want to fall into the peace. We rather make war. we rather get upset and rah. But we have got to think about really practicing the skills to be still in the moment and say, God, what do you want me to do here? Now, if it calls for war, it calls for war. There's sometimes we got to fight. But did you even ask? Did you get still long enough to find out, okay, am I supposed to fight this? Am I supposed to pursue this route? Or should I go another way? Should I ignore it? And you've got to manage your emotions so that your heart can experience the true peace of God. You'll no longer expect everyone else to meet your expectations, and you'll learn to live your life with expectancy and truly receive the joy of the Lord, which is your strength. You know, over the last several years, I would pretty much say since 2020, we've had to understand. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but we had some big plans in 2020. We were actually, before everything shut down, we were on our way to Greece. I think we were about 2 weeks out from a Greece trip for work. You know, tickets booked, rooms ready. And, you know, that didn't happen. There's other things that didn't happen. Huh? Oh, yeah. And Paris. Yeah. The thing about it is, you know, okay, yeah, it was a disappointment. You're like, oh Lord, then the whole world seemed to shut down and it was things that didn't happen. But when I think about it now, at 2024, I think about all the things that did happen. We started a nonprofit. We started a ministry. You know, I got rid of a lot of my mommy guilt because the kids were home 24/7 because they were homeschooled. I didn't ever imagine something like that would happen. So the part about it is, you know, if you look for all the bad, you're gonna find it. But if you look for, well, God, what are you trying to show me in this moment? What are you trying to show me? Even as things didn't go as I thought it was gonna go or as planned. Okay, why didn't it? Is it something else I'm supposed to see? Is there something else I want to see? And in this, sometimes that journey allows us to see what God wants to show us. And so this is the part, and I'm talking to you as I would talk to myself. And as I've been talking to myself all morning, it's like, God, I want to see you. I want to see you in me. I want to see you in my existence. And so I can't even put unrealistic expectations on myself. You know, a mom, mother, daughter, sister, friend, you know, minister, employee, trying to be an employer, a businesswoman, or this or that, and you put all this weight on yourself. But God has already said, hey, take my yoke upon you. My burden is light. Why put all that on you? Why put that on other people when they are just people too? I want you to think about this. How often do things in our lives not go exactly as we planned or we thought? Even a run to the grocery store can turn out quite different. But we have to be in a flow of like, wow, you know what, I didn't expect that to happen. Yesterday was a day full of, wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. But boy, if God didn't move and bless yesterday. Look, I'm gonna give you this little small thing. I bought a pair of sunglasses a while ago from Nordstrom Rack. I love Nordstrom Rack. You go there, you want some fly sunglasses, the Prada, the Gucci, the whatever, but you're not paying the Prada, the Gucci price. Bought a pair of sunglasses. How long ago, babe? Probably about 6 months ago, if not more. And they were MCM. They're gorgeous, but you buy them off the rack and then they give you a case. They didn't have any MCM cases. They gave me a Gucci one. It's gorgeous, but it's Gucci with MCM glass. All right. Okay. I'm telling you a low hanging thing just to get you to understand what I'm talking about. So yesterday we go back to Nordstrom Rack. I had my eye on these other glasses that I wanted for a while. Ended up gonna buy those. And as the lady was getting the case for those glasses, I saw a beautiful MCM case. I mean, it's so pretty. It looks like it could be a purse. It's a very nice, hard, beautiful MCM covered, with the logo and the beautiful camel color. And I told Sarah, I said, "Ooh," I said, "I wonder if she can just give me a MCM case for my other glasses while she's digging in there." And so we asked, "Well, can you purchase the case?" And she said, "Oh no, you can't do that." So he said, "Well, we just bought some MCM glasses, but y'all didn't have the case, and you gave me a different one." She said, "Well, you can ask my manager." So we get down there and waiting for the manager to ring out the person that she was working with. And so, I'm thinking, man, maybe even if it's just $20 or something, that case is just so nice. It'd be nice to have matching for my glasses. And so Cedric was telling what was going on. And he said, "Man, this is one of my favorite stores." And she said, "Here, I'll go get one for you." She got it and she put it in the bag. She didn't charge it. She didn't ask nothing. And Cedric said, "Well, this is one of my favorite stores." She said, "I know. I've only been here 2 weeks and I done seen y'all in here twice because we went last week or earlier this week or whatever." And it was so funny. And we walked away and I told Cedric, I said, "Boy, you have not because you asked not." Now, the thing is, this was like to me a thing of like, I'm living in a life of expectancy. When you ask for the universe to conspire with you, how are you asking? Are we asking because we're trying to manipulate the elements? Are we trying to get them to work with us and for us? If he would ask, even the first lady, she said, "Well, ask my manager." Kind of like, I know she ain't gonna do it, but you ask her because I done gave you my answer. And he pursued it in such a nice way and a hospitable way. The lady was like, "They're just cases that they give away to people anyway." I don't know even where they come from, but there was a whole lot of them sitting there. And if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see any MCM glasses in the store at all as we were looking. So they were just sitting there waiting for me. That's how I look at it. So I want you to think of in your life, when you get somewhere, when you get to the grocery store, when you get to the library, when you get to the job, you should be, "God, what's here waiting for me today? What major move of God is waiting for me?" I stand in this spirit of expectancy in this realm, but expectation in yours. I know that you are going to bless me, and I'm going to put myself in a place to be blessed. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be real with myself. I'm going to allow you to work through me and on me so I can get what I came here for. And I'm not going to let the hard times or the struggles in life keep me from it. I'm reminded of some young ladies in The Color Purple when the one girl said, she said, "Write to me." The sister said, "I want you to write." And what did she say? She said, "Nothing but death can keep me from it." We should be in that place that there's nothing going to keep me from my destiny. Whether it's a Trump, whether it's a Biden, whether it's a Jones or a Smith, I don't care. I'm going to get what I came here for. And I'm not going to be robbed from it just because life gets hard, because life is life. And there's going to be some moments that you might even doubt yourself. But I tell you what, you better stop doubting now. now. You better get yourself brushed off and you say, you know what? That is not so. I am a conqueror and more. I am above and not beneath. I am the head and not the tail. I can be what I say I am. And I am not low. I am not less than. To a lot, I might be too much. But that's all right. I'd rather be seen as too much than not enough in my own eyes. Because when I say, oh, I'm too much, that means I'm it. I'm all of that. I'm empowered. I'm strong. Yeah, those moments. We're gonna have them. But it needs to be just a moment. Don't let that be the rest of your life. Don't live in a spirit of defeat or agony. You don't have to. God is saying, you do not have to. I'm going to go here really quick. We're going to go to Proverbs 17 and 22, where it says, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And you've heard that before. People say, laughter is like a medicine. But a lot of times we don't hear the second part. It says, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. A lot of times people, we just hear that because there's that caveat to it. Yes, a merry heart, a joyful heart is good like a medicine, but a broken spirit is dry to the bones. Don't allow your spirit to be broken. I don't care who, what, when, where, or how. You got to pick yourself up and you got to trust the God that created you. You got to trust in what he says you are and who you are, and not allow this world and the things that you might confront to break you down. So the big question is, when you walk away, is how do you react when things get tough? Do you let it defeat you? Do you allow it to get you out of shape? Do you allow it to disappoint you and sink you down? No, you say, you know what? Okay, all right. I see how this was going. But I'm gonna get up out of here. When money's funny, what do? You just say, well, boy, I hear people say, boy, it's always something, I got to pay for, and something breaking down, and I got to replace it. Boy, what if we really changed our philosophy? What if we changed our mindset and said, boy, I'm so thankful God has provided me with the money to fix it if it does break down. We had to go and buy a brand new refrigerator a couple of weeks ago for our rental house. And boy, how God worked that thing out. We didn't trip and go crazy when that had to happen. It had to happen. It's a beautiful refrigerator. Those God just made the way, and it was so easy. We had help of my dad went to go getting in the house and everything. Like, everything worked out smooth as silk. But that's a lot of the approach to it. So we've got to change our approach to even what we would consider a trial, a tribulation, a battle, a test, whatever. We've got to change our own perspective and how we view it. So when you get up in the morning and you unwrap the day, you wake up and say, okay, God, what do you have fantastic and beautiful in this day for me? And what would you have me do that I can be a recipient of it? I'm not saying it's just going to happen because that's not how that works either. We got to give to get, right? But what can I do? What can I give? How can I be of service so that this day will go not necessarily as planned, but go as you would will it, as you would want it to go. That's where we've got to live a life of expectancy and understand that time is going fast. The anointing on this year, what the theme of this year is going to be something else next time. So we truly want to relish in and be beneficiaries of this time and space. We can't allow anything, anybody, any spirit to stand in our way. If you got giants in the land, you got to go in there and get rid of them. You got giants in your own spirit, in your own heart. You got to do something to heal that thing. You got to get rid of it. Don't allow when you come against hard times to make you doubt your purpose. If anything, and what I'm learning, and I'm talking to you in real time of what I'm learning, is that that's just to test your own tenacity. We talked about Jonah a few weeks ago. He ran every different direction, trying to not do what he was called to do. And when he went to go do it, it happened just like that. And when it happened so fast, he got mad. Like, well, did you really need me to do all this? It's like the whole story was not about the people of Nineveh. It was about him. And I had to really look at that. So God, this is not even about those people, those places, those things, those organizations. It's not even about that. It's about me. And I could get upset. I could get discombobulated. I could say, well, what's the point? Why should I even keep going? There's no space to ask those questions. I need to ask, okay, guys, what would you have me to do? And I will go in the midst of the fire, the flood, the hurricane, the tornado. I will keep going because God has been so gracious and so good to me. And I know that he's going to bless and multiply my I guess even just because I stay in obedience. Not that it's always easy, but it's going to bless that. And bless me and bless those that are attached to me. Feel like Martin, we got some tough days ahead. Collectively and possibly individually. That's just how it is. But boy, we got so much help. And I just want to go back really quickly. Oh, if I can. I might not have it anymore. I think I got rid of it. I lost my scripture in my phone. But I just really want us to concentrate on you. You becoming the very best that you can, the strongest version of yourself. And don't allow the players of this game and the characters of this world to get you off of where you are intended to be. I hope this has helped. It helped me. Just because I felt like sometimes it gets really, really hard. And you're like, wow, maybe I'm just doing too much. Maybe I just need to sit down somewhere. And I realized, no, you just got to change your perspective and put your expectations where they lie, which is on the one that created you. And open your heart to live in a spirit of expectancy, that every day is a gift. And what you are a recipient of is the true blessings of God. I just wanna be when we touch and agree.